I haven't told anyone this before, because honestly, I didn't think anyone would believe me. But I need to get it off my chest. I was out driving Uber last April, just another night shift, nothing unusual at first. Same streets, same playlists, same late night crowd. But something happened that night, something I still think about way more than I want to admit. Back then, everything felt tense, like the city itself was holding its breath. You had AI protests popping up downtown, constant news cycles about data leaks and deepfakes, people not trusting anything or anyone anymore. The vibe in LA was weird, paranoid, jumpy, like we were all waiting for something to snap. I usually stayed out of it, kept to myself, kept my car clean, and just drove my routes. That Aptil night though should have been routine, but it was far from that. That night was supposed to be like any other. But this girl I picked up that last April night wasn't right. She barely moved, didn't talk, and when I caught a good look at her eyes, I knew something was wrong. I mean, really wrong. I started my shift around 10 p.m. Everything felt normal, the usual Friday night crowd. I picked up a guy going home from a poker night, a couple who'd gotten into a fight and rode in silence, and this college kid who made me take a 10-minute detour so he could grab his vape from a gas station. Then at about 1:04 a.m. I got a ping from this quiet residential neighborhood near Soto and Hill. The writer's name was Alyssa, no profile photo, brand new account. I almost skipped it. Something about the request felt off, but it was close, and I'd been parked anyway. I pulled up near a park, totally dark, except for one flickering streetlight, the kind of spot where even silence feels loud. I waited a bit, maybe 2 minutes, then out of nowhere she walked out from the trees, slowly, calm, like she knew I'd be there, like this had already happened before. She looked out of place. Her clothes were faded like she'd worn them 100 times, a light gray jacket, jeans, and shoes that looked almost too clean. But what really caught me was how still she was. She didn't say anything, just got in the back seat. I turned and asked, "Alyssa?" She nodded. That's it. No smile, no expression. She leaned forward and manually entered a destination. Not an address, coordinates, just a string of numbers. I glanced at the screen. They weren't even formatted like normal GPS coordinates, just long strings, no location label. I asked where she was headed. Nothing. She just stared forward. I glanced at the rearview mirror, and that's when I saw them. Her eyes. They weren't normal. No whites, no pupils, just solid black. The kind of black that doesn't reflect anything, like looking into a void. I tried not to panic. Maybe it was a medical condition, maybe special contacts. But the longer I drove, the less I believed that. She didn't move. She didn't blink. She barely even breathed. It was like she was waiting. Not for the destination, for something else. I drove in silence, but my nerves were fried. Every time I hit a bump in the road, I tensed up. I kept checking the mirror, and every time I did, I saw those same black eyes. And then, while we were stopped at a red light near a construction site, she suddenly spoke. "Do you remember the fall of Phoenix 1? I said, "What was that? Do you remember the fall of Phoenix 1? Same voice, same tone, she repeated it, like a loop. I asked again, "Phoenix what?" She didn't answer, just turned her head to the window and stared outside like I wasn't even there. I looked it up later. Phoenix 1 was supposedly a satellite program that got shut down in 2017 before it ever launched. But how would she know that? And why bring it up? That's when the GPS changed, rerouted by itself. I never touched it. It took us way out, past the edge of the city onto this cracked road that led to some old radio tower. No traffic, no streetlights, just dirt, chain link fencing, and silence. I asked her, "This it?" She nodded again. She opened the door, stepped out, and walked a few feet ahead. No hesitation, no looking back. I looked down at my phone. The ride ended on its own. The app just said, "Connection lost, no charge, no trip record." I looked up to ask her something, but she was already walking away, into the dark. Around 30 seconds or so after she shut the door, I heard this low hum. Not loud, but deep, It rattled through the steering wheel and into my spine. Then everything went white. It wasn't headlights. It wasn't lightning. It was just light, bright, pure, and everywhere. Like it came from inside the air itself. It lasted maybe 10 seconds, and when it faded, she was gone. Just like that. No trace, no sound, no footprints, no wind, nothing. I stepped out of the car, called out, looked around. We were in the middle of nowhere, and she had vanished. I walked toward where she had been, half expecting to see her crouched down, messing with something on the ground. But there was nothing. The only thing left was this faint warmth in the air, like something massive had just happened. Like I had witnessed something I wasn't supposed to see. I didn't sleep when I got home. I sat on the couch for hours, replaying everything in my head. I checked the back seat 3 times. No hair, no bag, no phone. Nothing to show anyone had ever been there. But I can't stop thinking about the look in her eyes. Not fear, not confusion. It was like she knew where she was going. I checked my Uber app. The ride still says in progress. I've closed the app, reopened it, deleted, and re-downloaded. Nothing changes. It just sits there. That same set of coordinates, that same timestamp, and no way to cancel it. I haven't driven since. And I don't think I ever will again. Because if she was real, and I know she was, then there's something else out there. Something I never want to cross paths with again. And if I ever do, I don't think I'll ever be seen again.